Good evening again to everybody, wherever you are around the world. We talk about what I believe should be the most important subject matter of our lives, and that is the great power of transformational change, the capability to make transformational change happen. So, to do a quick recap, what we said last week was the whole conversation about entrepreneurial leadership. We're saying that it is more than just commercial activity. Entrepreneurship really is a pillar of leadership. And so it is entrepreneurial leadership instead of just the simple word entrepreneurship. And secondly, entrepreneurial leadership is values. It is more than just entrepreneurship. It is human values. It is moral values. It is values of change, transformational change. It is values that takes into account the holistic implications of any activity with the end goal of money. If you followed the news in Ghana about the galamsey simply refers to very crude ways of mining, gold mining, which is now within the context of illegal mining. But this system and this form and this method of mining is so destructive to the natural environment without any consideration whatsoever to the destruction of life and property and environment and the water bodies and everything around us because of some of the hard chemicals that are used and so on to destroy the environment, the very earth. So this form of illegal mining, very destructive to the environment, is achieved with just one sole goal and aim in mind, and that is money. Now, our argument is this kind of approach cannot be entrepreneurship. It is something else. It cannot be entrepreneurship because entrepreneurship is entrepreneurial leadership. And entrepreneurial leadership has to do with values that considers your neighbor and your environment and the impact of your actions on your neighbor and on your environment. That is true leadership. I've heard it from 2-3 different people that when you go to Europe, when you visit Europe, particularly Germany, has some of the most cleanest, greeniest, most beautiful environments, well manicured, well pedicured, vegetation all over the place, to the extent when you look at them, you wonder, wow, is this how beautiful the earth could look like and be like? Now, what produced that will be true entrepreneurial leadership, because I can guarantee you that in the process, the reward of money was also derived from all of these activities, which has left this environment so beautiful. However, nothing is depraved. The environment is not depraved. Life is not depraved. If anything, life and environment has been enhanced. That is leadership. That is true leadership. So true entrepreneurial leadership focuses on developing these values, which in turn will produce the results and thereby make money part of the reward system. True entrepreneurship, that is true entrepreneurial leadership, chases and focuses on the fulfillment of the vision and its goals, and not just the money as the first step. So you don't put money before the values. You don't put money before the entrepreneurship. We cannot go to Germany and love what they have, or go to Dubai and love what they have, when in fact we also possess in our hearts and in our souls the same capabilities they have, which they use to produce the results of the beautiful environments they have. We don't just jump to accuse government and say somebody else is responsible for the way you are, the way you do. Of course, for people we put in government, we are going to have to hold everybody, we put in leadership accountable, but we also have to hold ourselves accountable. Africa's transformation will not just happen. No nation's transformation just happened. Botswana will not just happen. Zambia will not just happen. Zimbabwe will not just happen. South Africa will not just happen. Ghana will not just happen. Nigeria will not just happen. From Cairo to Cape Town, from Senegal to Somalia, across the length and the breadth of this continent, we will have to consciously consciously, deliberately take hold of these values. These values which at the end of the day drills down to mindset, quality of thinking. We would also need enforcement of law. Enforcement of law. Any country and any nation that has been developed, as we'll say, was a result of entrepreneurial leadership. What do we do with setbacks? We have to know that setbacks, most of the time we're looking for opportunities, but we run away from setbacks and hardships and difficulties. But setbacks and hardships and difficulties are an important part of the journey. They are part of an entrepreneurial leader's story. They are part of an entrepreneurial leader's journey. That's why when we bring people around a panel to have conversation and share their lives, they talk about their successes, but you will not hear one who doesn't talk about difficult setbacks and difficult challenges and difficult situations. Some of them literally rose out of ashes, the ashes of literal near-death situations. So these elements within the context of entrepreneurial leadership are going to be important in the conversations and discussions ahead. Remember, it's a mindset where people run away and blame and cry and look for somebody to blame and look for a government to blame. And I'm not saying we don't hold our governments accountable, but do you ever hold yourself accountable? Because it's a two-way street. It's your life, it's your destiny, but it's also to a group of people that you voted into power, that you gave the right to take decisions over you and on your behalf too. A true entrepreneur really looks within himself and looks for the opportunities and looks for the openings within the context of challenges and difficulties, and is asking themselves, how can I provide solutions? How can I provide answers to all of these questions? And let's not have any conversation about transformational change without first talking about you as an individual, me as an individual, because that's where it really starts from. So in conclusion, we say that true entrepreneurial leadership and how to identify it is the values that wants to serve a larger purpose than yourself. Again, I want to thank you so much. Please like, subscribe. Have a great evening. Please take very good care of yourselves and have a good night.